My name is Zarima, and today I am gonna tell you a story. Do you know Rapunzel? Yes, she is the girl with a very long and shiny hair. Do you know her story? No? Okay, I'm going to tell you. Once upon a time, there was a couple who lived in a cozy house. They were very happy together, but there was one thing missing in their lives: a child to call their own. They longed for a little one to fill their home with laughter and joy. Every day, the wife would look out of their window and gaze at the world beyond. One day, as she peered out, her eyes fell upon a magnificent garden that lay just beyond their home. It was a garden unlike any other, filled with the most beautiful flowers and herbs, including a special plant called rampion, also called as Rapunzel. The sight of the rampion filled the wife's heart with longing. She had never seen anything so beautiful, and she knew in that moment that she wanted it more than anything else in this world. She turned to her husband and shared her desire. Now, the husband loved his wife more than anything, and she couldn't bear to see her unhappy. So, despite the danger, he made a bold decision. He would venture into the garden and retrieve the rampant for his beloved wife, no matter the cost. Under the cover of nightfall, he crept into the garden, his heart pounding with fear. The garden was surrounded by a high wall, and he knew that he was trespassing on someone else's land. But he pushed aside their fear and reached out of the rampion, plucking it from his bed with trembling hands. As he made his way back to the house, he felt a sense of triumph mixed with apprehension. He knew that he had done something forbidden, and he feared the consequences of his action. But when he presented the rampion to his wife, her eyes lit up with joy, and he knew that he had done the right thing. However, their happiness was short-lived, for they soon discovered that the garden belonged to a powerful enchantress, feared by all who knew her. When the enchantress heard the tale, he was furious, confronted the husband and demanded retribution for his trespass. But the wife, filled with desperation, pleaded the enchantress to spare her husband's life. She confessed her longing for the rampion and begged for mercy. Moved by the wife's tear, the enchantress relented, but she demanded a heavy price in return. "You can keep the rampion," the enchantress said, her voice cold and stern. "But in exchange, you must give me your child when it is born. Do you agree?" The couple was horrified by the enchantress' demand, but they had no choice but to accept. And so, when their daughter Rapunzel was born, the enchantress appeared and whisked her away to a distant tower, far from her loving parents' embrace. For years, Rapunzel lived alone in the tower, visited only by the enchantress, who would call out to her, "Rapunzel! Rapunzel! Let down your hair to me!" And so, Rapunzel would lower her long golden hair, and the enchantress would climb up to visit her. But despite her isolation, Rapunzel remained hopeful that one day she would be free to explore the world beyond the tower's wall. Little did she know that her chance for freedom would come in the form of a handsome prince who stumbled upon the tower one day while wandering through the forest. Intrigued by the sound of Rapunzel's voice, he called out to her, and she let down her hair to greet him. The prince and Rapunzel quickly became friends. Over time, their friendship blossomed into love. They dreamed of escaping the tower and starting a new life together, far from the enchantress' grounds. But their plan was thwarted when the enchantress discovered their secret. In a fit of rage, she cut off Rapunzel's hair and banished her to a distant wilderness, leaving the prince heartbroken and alone. For years, the prince searched for Rapunzel, his heart heavy with sorrow. But just when he had given up hope for ever finding her again, Fate intervened, and he stumbled upon her in the wilderness. Her tears of joy restoring his sight and his faith in true love. Together, they returned to the prince's kingdom. They were welcomed with open hands. As they began their new life together, they knew that no matter what challenges they had, they would face them together, reunited by the unbreakable bond of love that had brought them together against all odds. And so, dear listener, the story of Rapunzel and her prince has come to an end. It is a story about love, sacrifice, and a hope that everyone can have a freedom to love. Thank you.